Ballers! Welcome back to Expedition 33. My god, theories. What is happening in this game, man? What is happening? And you know you're going to get a good conclusion, but piecing it together, there are so many things happening in this game that are going to make sense infinitely more on a second playthrough. Like, what is the relevance of puppets just being around an area, and in particular the lost boy. The lost boy that we keep encountering now, which is like all black and he's like fading away. And there's quite a few enemies that are like that, where there's like, they're like disappearing. And they're just like crumbling as you fight them. And now we're getting communication with things from that. And more importantly, weird, interesting black and white cutscenes with the old man and the mysterious woman. More nightmares. Alright, let's fill in the blanks here. Well, I will, because you guys already know what's going on. Fucking mopey bastards, these two. Oh boy, oh boy. Alright, let's get started with where we're up to in the game, because, yeah, a lot. As we left it, was on our way to visit someone called Esquie. But before that, because that's this game, and it is every kind of game like this, is there's all sorts of things on the world map to go and see. And I went on a little adventure to find things, and did some world bosses and things like that, which was really fun. I'm all agility. This has become a big thing, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal until Chris at the end of it went, what you're doing should not work. And I was like... He's like, and it is working, and it's really annoying that what you're doing is working. I've invested every talent point I've had into agility because of, and the reason I did that isn't out of a meme. It was because, generally speaking, certainly in a game where you can parry everything and avoid all damage, the ability to just have way more turns than the enemy is just so favorable. If I think about any game like that, whether it be like something like Divinity or whatever, or any RPG where you can just simply do more than the enemy can do, you generally are in a really good position. So that's why I invested there. I will point out now, I am very regularly just completely one-shot by anything in the game. Absolutely anything. Like, basic trash mobs just eradicate me. But I did discover, which was a part I'd ignored, is that a lot of the pictos that you put on your character, the passive effects you can have, you can add them as the Lumina, but the actual, certainly the expensive ones, come with raw stat increases, like HP and things like that. So that is something I'm going to look more into, because the system is obviously designed to put the most expensive ones, like, on the characters, and then the cheaper ones, you can fit more of the passive effects in. And the higher level, more expensive ones tend to come with a lot more main stat to go along with it. But that is my character setup. If it's looking weird, because we had a lot of people watching, it's like, what difficulty mode is this? Because he's getting, like, one-shot by everything. And it's like, okay, he's on expert, but he has, like, no health and nothing. But when it does work, oh, it's so good. It's so good. But it's forcing me. I like it as well, because it's making a lot of fights a challenge. I never really enjoy, and I was pre-warned by several people that you can overlevel this game very easily, is that it's a lot more fun for me if the essence of danger is still there. And in fact, we had the highlight of yesterday's gameplay, I would say, was I forget the name of it. It's a large monster that eats one of your party members. So you have to do it with 2 party members. And it was a world boss version of it that was very, very hard. This thing had so much HP, it was unbelievable. And a huge array of attacks. It had crushing attacks, which were like 6-hit combos, all with very variable timings. I want to come back to that. 3-hit, 4-hit, 5-hit combos, as well as the most annoying mechanic in the attack in the world, because it shouldn't be, called miasma. Miasma is just it spitting continuous balls at you that slow you down, but these were one-shotting my characters if any of them hit. However, it should, in theory, be by far the easiest attack to completely parry. But for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's the camera or whatever, or if it's just me, absolutely could just be me, it was super consistent on certain characters, and then other characters, that timing just didn't work. And the parry window in this game is notorious. I've actually had a lot of this feedback, unwarranted, but I've had it through like Twitter and Discord and stuff, is that this game has a tighter parry window than Sekiro. I didn't feel it that much, honestly. It felt kind of natural to me, but I've been parrying for a very, very long time. I've been parrying since the very early Demon Souls days. So it didn't feel that bad for me, having played all those games. I felt it was fine, and playing Bayonetta and even FF16. Yeah, not a problem for me particularly, but some of them are very, very wonky. And the game is actually I just want to talk about this for a second. The game is extremely good at giving you some sort of clue, and that clue will change depending on the enemy you're fighting. It could be there's a sound cue, but that sound cue actually works in multiple different ways. Sometimes it's mid-sound cue, so it might go shh, you know, just a sound like that, like a sway through the air. Sometimes it's the moment that sound effect starts. Sometimes it's midway through. Sometimes it's like at the end of it. On occasion, some enemies will actually seemingly slow down time as the parry window begins on their attack. That's really weird. Like, it happens on occasion. There's a floating aerial mob that does it. It either does this yellow quick attack or a red delayed attack. But if you watch, you'll see there's like a moment where time seemingly slows a little bit. And then that's when you hit the parry window. So that's a very clear visual indicator. With other enemies, in particular the shield potato enemies, they have an attack where they do a spin. So the game is extremely good about baiting you. And there's a couple of enemies that are really tricky to parry because they have a number of baits. They'll have like fake swings where they bait you, then the actual swing comes, or they'll do a spin so it looks like they're about to attack you, but then they'll do a spin. And the whole point of that is to get you to activate the parry, which actually locks your character into an animation, and then they'll actually do the attack, which means you can't parry it because you're locked in an animation. And so for that, it's actually as it draws back. You would think it's as it starts coming forward, but it isn't. It's when it draws back, because the animation of it actually hitting you is only probably 1 or 2 frames. It's extremely quick. So it's that. And once you recognize these like tells of like, okay, with this attack, it's this one, and then there's a delay. So for example, the giant monster we're talking about here, his crushing combo was slow, but his tell was the second the animation starts coming towards you. It's not as fast as, say, the shield guy. He's like, that's the parry window, followed by a rhythmic 3. So it's like parry, parry, parry. Then you pause because he's now going to attack you with the left hand. And once again, it's going to restart. He's going to open it wide, really wide. And then the second the animation starts, that's when you hit the parry. And you go, so you go parry, parry, pause, parry, parry, pause again. And then the head, and that's also... But all 3 of these are telegraphed by when the animation starts. So as long as you just wait until the animation actually starts coming for you and hit the parry, then you're good. But you have to go the exact frame that animation starts. So all this information was great. I was having a lot of fun with it. The miasma one, though, if it was somebody who's saying row 1, if we go from top down, so it's like row 1, 2, 3 with your characters, row 2 and 3 were very consistent. Row 1, which is usually Gustav, it was always slightly off, and I got into this epic battle. This probably took me like, I don't know, 15 tries or something, where I was getting eradicated because I had so many attacks to learn. But I then discovered the joy, at least for now, of Firestorm. Lune's Firestorm is just awesome once it gets to like round 4, which is tricky because if Lune gets attacked or you get a party-wide attack, she's very obvious. She gets stunned if you're doing Firestorm. If you don't know what Firestorm is, it's ever-increasing fire damage. So it'll start at like 1k, then 1.5, then like 2k. But by round 4, it's ticking for 10,000, which is the damage cap. It's just going boom, 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 boom. And on my... I went from not getting below 50% on this fight to killing it. And I gotta tell you, my heart rate at the last 10%, because I had Lune ticking for 10k, and it was Gustav and Lune, and I was just parrying everything. It was just crispy clean a whole way. And he was targeting Lune specifically. I think the AI does almost modify itself on its attack pattern based on who's doing the most damage to it. Because it felt that way, because he started targeting Lune consistently. With his single targets, and I was parry, 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 and then landing more firestorms. 10k, 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 and his health was just dropping, and he got to like 20%, and he spat out Mael, and then he eats somebody else, and he ate Lune, and I was like, of course he's eating Lune. And this guy has got lots and lots of HP. Loads of HP. And I was like, what are we going to do here? Because this last 10% is now going to take maybe, like, as long as it's taken us to get to 10%, because these characters don't do enough damage. Like, I've got Gustav set up to break, which gives us the stun and all that kind of stuff. But my L, I haven't quite got perfect yet. Getting her into Virtuoso stance and dropping big bombs is what she does, but it takes me a little while to get there, so I've got to think on that. But bringing that down, I probably heart rate of like, I don't know, like 130 or something. Absolutely wacky. I could feel it pounding in my chest. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. It wasn't like 180 or something if I'm doing a really intense run, but I could feel like it was there. We might have to put the heart rate monitor on for some of these big bosses, but what a great occasion. Yeah, dude! Woo! Oh my god! Oh, Jesus Christ! I cannot believe he ate Luno! You sack of shit! I cannot fucking believe he ate Lune. What an absolute frigging arsehole, man! Oh! And got some great loot out of it. I got a ton of new Pictos. I could spend probably I could spend 2 hours of my stream really buggering about with different Pictos and Luminas and setups and changing characters around. I feel like I could set somebody up to just do like auto attack damage essentially, but just do massive break damage, really hype that up in big ways. So super fun. We managed to get our way to Esquie. What an interesting character. Definitely a character due to his charisma. Is very beloved. I get that vibe. He's very, very beloved. But what an absolute arse this guy is. And I called it. I was like, this guy is an absolute POS, man. Like, a total POS. But everybody loves him so much because he's like, oh, you know, I'm just Esquie. And I want to have fun. And I need my rocks. Yes. First of all, we had to go bully Francois, who apparently was a human. That was a good tell of something that was going on. And take back his rock, which was the wrong rock. And then Francois was like, I never had your bloody rock.
Who dares enter my lair?
Oh, Jesus. He's
You can't just walk into someone's home without knocking. That is incredibly rude.
Oh, God.
Are you Francois? He's just a talking rock.
Wait, I thought Florrie was the rock.
A rock? I am not a rock. Do you have rocks for eyes? You certainly have rocks for brains. I am clearly a turtle. Esquie! Stop sending hooligans over here!
Hooligans.
Stop being a meanie. They're nice humans.
Then keep them on your side of the caves! Now get off my lawn!
It's okay. We'll leave. We're just here for Florrie.
So, not only are you intruding, you're here to steal? Oh my word! Humans! Well, over my dead body! Rah!
And then you find a dead expedition because Esquie, like, told them to eat this thing. It's like, just killed them. And you're like, Esquie sucks, but Esquie does become a mount. Great section. He becomes your mount, and he can now destroy rocks, which has opened up a lot of the world map. Very cool. And then the story really started to pick up in terms of what was going on. So I visited the Gestal village, which was huge. I was surprised at how big this was. This is a full-on city with lots going on. The bazaar, meeting the chef. I tried to fight the chef after I did the tournament. Very, very tough fight. I'll come back to that. I am going to beat that character. But yeah, that was a very, very tough fight. But the main point here is you meet Ciel. Another character has joined the team. And I was really happy because I like Ciel a lot. Like, I love that she's not totally okay with the weirdness of this world. And when people talk to her, she just goes, whatever, dude. Like, she just has this such wonderful way about her.
How? I don't understand.
Men trip not on mountains. They stumble upon stones.
Okay.
Okay, I like Ciel a lot. Okay, dude. Ciel's fucking... Ciel is based. She's absolutely based. We meet CL. I was a little disappointed, though. I thought we were going to have a 4-man team. It's not. It's a 3-man. I really enjoy how my team synergies are kind of working so far. I want to include CL as we go forward, but for now, she's benched. I'm not sure. As I just mentioned, there's some dynamics that I'm not super happy with, so I'm probably going to mess around and change that up into some way. But we are on the hunt for the rock. He needs to find his rock, and Esquie is mega powerful. To get where it's going. All right, so that's generally where we're up to. Let's talk about story revelations. So we have a lot more cutscenes happening now between the old man and the young, or the white-haired woman is what they call it. And there's other references throughout the game that the white-haired woman visited, and the old man has attacked the Gestal village, and somehow that some of them survived. So I initially thought the old man was protecting the paintress. But that seems to not be the case if he's been attacking the villages that are also on the continent. So his motivation is very much unknown. But what does appear to be occurring is there is another world. A world that lacks color is the obvious thing that's going on. It's a world of black and white. They also interestingly changed the aspect ratio of the game during those cutscenes, which is really interesting choice to make. I think it's 4:5. I'm not 100%, but they actually fully changed the aspect ratio as if you're looking through different eyes, and they exist around you. Like it appears to me is that the white-haired woman and the old man are actually in camp with you. They're stood side by side with you. They're like following us essentially. And they exist in a sort of like dimensional shift or different parallel world that is existing, that they have bitterness and rage and anger in particular towards Mael. They claim that she is the one that's responsible, even though she doesn't know it yet. It's all her fault. What does that mean? Well, this is where my sci-fi brain went crazy. Almost as if I was reminded, I'm so sorry for how nerdy this is going to get, but if you've ever seen the finale of Star Trek The Next Generation, the premise of the finale is that some events actually ripple backwards through time, is the idea. So an event that's an action in the future actually rippled backwards through time rather than forwards in a linear fashion and caused an effect thousands of years ago that destroyed and stopped mankind existing. And I'm wondering, with the countdown on the monolith, is there some effect going on there where the actions of the expeditions, as the paintress counts down to perhaps the birth of the world itself, are in some way, is our succeeding in what we want to do in this game actually a negative thing? Because the world has been fractured and broken because it's about to be reborn or remade in some way. And that is it's actually, while it equates to age in the world, is it actually a physical countdown to when this rebirth is happening? And the old man's aware of that. And he's also seen, because of the way time works, that the actions of the expedition, and Mael in particular, if Mael is the one who kills the paintress, that she's going to put a stop to this. Because she tells her to go home, enjoy your remaining years. That's his job. He doesn't want to kill her, he just wants her to not be here. Don't do what we know you're going to do. That's where I'm getting that from, right? That's his wording to her in the nightmare.
I envy them. Those who can't see. Those who know not that they are not, and those who live, blithe and free, sins forgotten, and thus absolved, a fresh dawn in their playground, while we live in shadows, swimming in ink. We are but a fragile dream, a singular weed, resisting, ever resisting, that iron dirt, that eternal law. Those who can't see, those who know not, that they are not. Do you know? We are fellows. Those who know not,
And there's a very interesting quote that is said by the white-haired woman, is they know not and they are not, I think is what it is. Like, they don't really exist. They're not real. Are we figments of the paintress's imagination, like we talked about earlier? Have we been created in some ways? That why we have life and they are in darkness? Because the white-haired woman is seemingly injured and mysterious and knowledgeable and traumatized in some way. I'm kind of leaning towards that direction. I have a million other theories that we could talk about endlessly, and I think what we want to do is, after the game is concluded, my whole team has played the game, is probably have a sit down with us all, which might be one of our website things, because there's not really a place for it here. But that's what I'm thinking now. Is this a countdown? Is essentially the monolith and the paintress a countdown to something positive? Rebirth, rejoining. Especially with the themes of color that happen in the game. They're in the black and white world, which is seemingly waiting to be reborn. They're because the Lost Boy is the same thing. Like, is he fading over to that side? Is that where the people who get gommaged are going to? They're traveling ready for this rebirth to happen. Are they going to be the source of life or something like that? Or is it much more simple? I don't know, but there's a lot of things going on right now that the old man feels like the protector of the paintress and maybe consider the Gestrals to no longer be a threat. That's why he left them alone. It's like, these guys aren't trouble. They just fight amongst each other, which is what the Gestrals do. But the expeditions are a threat because they are directly targeting the paintress. Interesting story, man. It's like so interesting. So interesting. And I just want more. I had to finish 10 minutes early yesterday and I was annoyed. So, I mean, we're going to plow through this. We're going to plow through every single step of the way. All right. So that's where we're up to. And those are my thoughts right now. So I'll come back to you when I have more revelations that'll twist and take my brain wherever it needs to be. So I'll see you then. Bye, guys.